the presentation for the group part of our assignment for the module, and it is further insights into county revenue between 2011 and 2016 and my own individual learnings that I had taken on for this report. So what will be covered in this presentation is the background, so what was completed as part of the group objectives for the report, and also my own individual learnings will be covered later on in the presentation. So the breakdown of tax revenue in Westmeath, revenue trend excluding PAYE, and Republic of Ireland revenue only versus foreign revenue. These will all be covered in much greater details in the slides. So the background of the project was the objectives completed by the group. So the data set we had taken was from the open source data.gov.ie, and very straightforward, easy to understand set of data. We explored, understood the data between myself and Cathal. Key dimensions in this was the county field, which was the county in the Republic of Ireland and the year from 2011 to 2016 inclusive. The key measures were in millions of euro, all financial figures, and it was VAT, PAYE, self-employed income tax, corporation tax, capital gains tax, so all numeric. There was further preparation done with the data set, so from the open source cso.ie, we also took in the county population figures for each county for each of these years. Reason for this was that Dublin's higher population could account for higher measures for that county. So the decision was for some of the objectives we would be looking at the revenue figures per capita rather than the total revenue figures, removing that factor from the visualizations and analysis. And the visualizations we used to complete this, so the objective to identify the counties which generated the most revenue per capita in an average year. We had that all broken down in the choropleth there on the right hand side. You can see Dublin, Westmeath jumping out there, Cork, and then trailing off there into some of the smaller counties. The other objective, identify the year which generated the most tax revenue, and is there a yearly trend that can be identified. With the stacked bar chart here from 2011 to 2016, you can see it is increasing year on year, and the tax channels generating the most revenue per capita. The red bars of the stacked chart there, PAYE, so you can see year on year is accounting for a large chunk of that. There'll be more details covered later on the slides. So my individual learnings for this part of the report. So I decided to have a look at Westmeath in particular. So it seems to have higher revenue per capita than a lot of its neighbouring counties. Does seem to be a bit unusual. Would have expected the counties with the larger urban centres like of Dublin, Cork, Limerick, Galway to be higher. Dublin of course was higher, but Westmeath did seem to be a bit anomalous, so there was further investigation done for this county. So first thing I had a look at the capital gains per capita. So by the end of 2016, Westmeath generated €131 per capita in capital gains, finishing 8 out of the 26 counties for this tax channel. So as you can see, Kildare was the highest here. Westmeath was substantially lower than that, so Kildare, Dublin, Wicklow much higher, but then they started to trail off very quickly after the top three. Next, the self-employed per capita. By the end of 2016, Westmeath generated €448 per capita in self-employed income tax, 4th out of the 26 counties for this tax channel. Again, not a bad position in the table, but Dublin and Meath were the top two, much higher than the rest. They trail off very quickly after that point. Corporation tax per capita. By the end of 2016, Westmeath generated €379 per capita in corporation tax, 10th in the position out of the 26, which is, as you can see, is mid-table. It's not too bad, but where you consider where the top 2 or 3 of this is, not accounting for a lot of the total revenue per capita generated in this county. VAT per capita. Westmeath at the end of 2016, €871 per capita in VAT. Much lower in the table, 17th out of 26 counties for this tax channel. Considering how much further Dublin is than the rest of the Republic of Ireland, it doesn't appear that this tax channel was contributing a lot to Westmeath's high revenue per capita. So what it left was PAYE per capita. End of 2016, Westmeath generating nearly €9,000 per capita in PAYE. Top of the table here, even exceeding Dublin in this regard. As you can see, these two counties were much further ahead than most, and it trails off very quickly after the top 3 or 4 here. So the conclusions of this, Westmeath's high revenue per capita looks to be a result of more high earners residing here based on the PAYE figures. The moderate capital gains, corporation, self-employed taxes indicate that there is business activity taking place, but not to the same degree as other counties, particularly when you consider the likes of Dublin. Westmeath's lowest revenue channel relative to the other counties was VAT, which would indicate a weaker retail culture present in Westmeath compared to other parts of Ireland. And again, Dublin would be the best example of this. So the next objective I took for myself was to have a look at the revenue excluding PAYE. So as was seen on the graph here on your right, PAYE accounts for the largest proportion year on year. So total revenue is found to be increasing year on year by 9.3% on average. And is this period of growth a result of more PAYE being paid, or are the commercial tax channels, so the likes of capital gains, corporation tax, those ones, showing positive signs? Are they also contributing as well to the increase? So removing PAYE from the analysis, 4 tax channels are all increasing year on year. The interesting one that we're able to see now with PAYE removed is corporation tax was found to have increased its proportion of the total revenue from 2015. So as you can see, the band here in orange for corporation tax takes a bit of a jump in terms of the percentage there in 2015 and 16. So although PAYE continues to account for the largest proportion of tax revenue, corporation tax is showing a better rate of increase. So there could be a time, if we were to look further down the line, that would be accounting for a larger proportion of the total revenue generated. And the last part we had a look at was the ROI only revenue against the foreign revenues generated. So the initial analysis, the group objectives, we left out the foreign or other revenue figures, as a lot of the objectives were to just compare the county revenues. So the conclusions we came to previously, the 9.3% average increase year on year was for ROI only. So is the rate of growth, if we have a look at the foreign or other revenues, exceeding that of the ROI based revenue, or is it a case it's the same or less? So reviewing this, where the ROI only revenue was increasing year on year by an average of 9.3%, foreign or other revenues are increasing by 9.1%, so very little to pick between them. Both are increasing at the same rate. The only differential that was very much identified between the two different subjects, where ROI only's main contributor was PAYE in terms of total revenue, foreign or other revenue was primarily VAT. So it looks to be for the large part to do with imports, exports, things like that. So that was the presentation. If you have any further queries, you can contact me at the email address shown here. Thank you.